Let me ask you something. What if you could literally walk up to your own fate and have a conversation with it? Well, today, we're diving into a story about a man who does exactly that. And he's not looking for fame or fortune. No, he just wants to know one thing. Why has his destiny fallen asleep on the job? And that really is the question at the heart of all this, isn't it? Is your fate just something that happens to you, something you have to accept? Or can you actually grab it by the shoulders, shake it, and wake it up? Well, we're about to meet a man who was brave enough to find out. So let's meet our hero. He's an elder brother who basically leaves his entire life behind, all for one single crazy mission: to find his nasib, his destiny, and demand to know why it's been so quiet. So after a seriously long journey, he finally gets there. But what he finds isn't some huge, all-powerful being sitting on a throne. Nope. He finds a figure just completely passed out, fast asleep. His entire life's potential just snoozing away. And he doesn't even hesitate. He doesn't tiptoe around. He marches right up to this sleeping figure and yells, "Wake up! Are you going to sleep like this forever?" I mean, talk about guts. A regular person, face to face with his own fate, telling it to get up. And the wildest part? It actually works. Destiny wakes up, kind of rubs its eyes, and promises, "I will never sleep again." Just like that, the brother now has the complete, undivided attention of his own fate. Anything he wants to know, now's the time to ask. But here's where the story gets really interesting. See, the brother didn't just come all this way for himself. On his journey, he ran into 3 other people who were in some serious trouble, and he promised he'd carry their questions with him. First up, he'd stopped in a kingdom that was just falling apart. He met the king, a guy who was working himself to the bone, day in and day out. But for some reason, the kingdom wasn't prospering. The people didn't respect him. It was just a total, baffling mess. So the king's question is just heartbreakingly simple. Why? Why is none of this working, even though I'm trying so hard? It's a question about more than just politics. It's about effort and reward. Okay, next on his journey, he meets an old farmer with a really strange problem. Most of his land was green and fertile, perfect for growing crops. But there was this one single patch of dirt right in the middle of it all where absolutely nothing would grow. A total mystery. And the farmer's question is just as straightforward. Why this spot? What's going on under the ground here that's stopping anything from living? And finally, the brother comes across the king of the jungle himself, a massive, powerful lion. But this lion wasn't so mighty anymore. He was weak, suffering from some kind of bizarre illness that nobody could figure out. The lion's question, of course, is a matter of life and death. What's the cure? How do I fix this? So now our brother is standing in front of his destiny, carrying the weight of all 3 of these desperate pleas. All right, so this is the moment of truth. The brother lays out all 3 riddles for his newly awakened destiny, and the answers he gets back, well, let's just say they are way stranger than anything he could have possibly prepared for. Okay, get ready for these answers because they are wild. For the king, destiny says, the king is actually a woman. To make her kingdom prosper, she has to reveal her secret and get married. For the farmer, there's a huge treasure buried in that barren patch of land. Until someone digs it up, nothing will ever grow there. And for the lion's cure, this one is the strangest of all. Destiny says the lion has to find and eat a complete and utter fool. These aren't just answers, they're puzzles in themselves. So with these mind-bending answers in hand, the brother thanks his destiny and starts the long trek home. And his first stop, of course, is the king's palace. He's got some, delicate news to deliver. The king is obviously on pins and needles and asks him right away if he found the answer. The brother, knowing this is sensitive stuff, pulls the ruler aside, away from everyone else, and quietly tells the king what destiny revealed, that the king is, in fact, a woman. And the ruler's response is just jaw-dropping. She says, "What you say is true. I am a woman." Turns out she's a princess who's been ruling in disguise to keep her kingdom safe. And then she looks right at the brother and drops this bombshell. "Now that you know my secret, will you marry me?" Okay, just stop and think about this for a second. This guy, who started this journey with nothing, is suddenly standing at a massive crossroads. Path number 1, he says yes. He marries the princess, becomes a king, and gets a whole kingdom handed to him on a silver platter. Path number 2. He says no, goes back to his old life, and trusts the very same destiny that he just had to go and wake up. What would you do? And his choice tells you everything you need to know about his journey. He turns down the crown. He refuses the entire kingdom. And he says simply, I have to go back to my own land because my own destiny has awakened. He found something way more valuable than power. He found faith in his own story. And that decision is really the whole point, isn't it? He chose the uncertainty of his own path over a guaranteed future. But that just opens up a whole new can of worms. What happens with that farmer's treasure? And how on earth is that sick lion supposed to find its unique medicine? And maybe the biggest question of all, by turning down a kingdom, did our brother just make the smartest move of his life? Or did he just prove himself to be the biggest fool in the entire story?